Now, Minister, you mentioned a word that has become almost like a household name in the Caribbean, several countries, and that is Petro Caribe. That initiative of Venezuela, the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, who has been partnering with many countries in the Caribbean to provide them with oil at concessionary rates. Now, recently in the Venezuela elections, Nicolas Maduro, who of course recently paid us a visit and who helped us with 27 million EC dollars to help the former sugar workers. It was 16 actually, 16, sorry. Nicolas Maduro lost his 17 year of socialist rule that ended in Venezuela when he lost control of the National Assembly. Should there be any concern in terms of the Petro-Caribe agreement with St. Kitts and Nevis and Venezuela because of this?
Well, it's a very good question, and I must say though, there's one thing that's constant and there's one thing that's unavoidable in this world is something called change. So at some time, I mean, one would, and it's been touted before, that things would go differently in Venezuela. Now we have, and I mentioned it briefly earlier, we have an arrangement under the Energy Cooperation Agreement between the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela and the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. And that has existed for over just about 10 years, a little more. You're correct, the party, I think it's the United Social Party of Venezuela, which is Maduro's party, they have lost the majority in the Legislative Assembly. He is still the president. Whether his socialist policies and other policies would continue, it's left to be seen. You asked the question if we are concerned. I want to say to you though that the Petro-Caribe agreement, as you referred to it, is not just about trading oil. It has a social component. It has other components as well. And while we, as an administration, fully support all the democratic principles, because the new government came out of a democratic election, what they will do in terms of their policies and change of policies is a bit early to predict, and I really wouldn't like to speculate on that. I believe we have a leadership in Dr. Harris who seem to have a good chemistry with most and all the leaders he meets. I believe when he meets this new president, this new leader, and this new government, I can say I strongly believe that there won't be much change, because that seemed to be the kind of leader we have leading the team unity government, and I say so without trying to sound patronizing. It is a fact.
No, that is quite good to hear, I must say.
I've been with him. I've met him many times. I mean, a matter of fact, when he met President Maduro in his first bilateral, I was there. And in a matter of minutes, we agreed on that same $16 million for the sugar workers and other issues, other projects rather, we agreed upon in a matter of 10-15 minutes.
No,
that has to be put down to the leader, the man.
That is quite commendable, because you're not the only minister who I have heard say those kinds of things. I have also heard the Attorney General who has spoken to me personally and told me the type of whatever it is that the Prime Minister, he is able to attract and to people just gravitate towards him wherever he goes. And I have seen it myself in terms of the media and so on. I mean, they single him out, and he's, it is actually quite Quite
as we say in
amazing.
colloquial terms, he's a bright guy,
Yeah.
and he adapts. He adjusts to different environments, and he's widely read, and he thinks on his feet pretty well. So I think that's a great credit to him.
Right.